All right, my lovely viewers, welcome to Frank Teaches DevOps. Yeah, guys, yeah. So today I have come with something very enticing, all right, and which is AWS Transit Gateway, right? So I've had a lot of requests that we should do a video on Transit Gateway, all right. So yeah, Um, Transit Gateway is AWS VPC feature. All right. All right. It is a VPC feature that is particularly used, all right, to connect um VPCs. All right. The VPCs now could be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, 20, name it, all right, depending on how complex your network is. All right, it could be used to connect VPCs to on-premise network. All right, so let me just give us a brief a brief flow. All right, so we have VPC. All right, we have multiple VPC. All right, so this will be one, two, right? Different VPCs, guys, different VPCs. All right, so these are different VPCs, right? Great. So these are different VPCs. Now on your right hand side you have your what? On-premise network, right? So your on-premise, these are not on-premise network. So you want to what? Connect all of these guys, all of these guys, all right, all of these guys to your what? On-premise network. That is made possible with a feature called what? A transit gateway. All right, transit gateway. Aside connecting VPCs to on-premise network, all right, you can still use transit gateway to allow intercommunication between VPCs. Right now, in a situation where you have um in a situation I'm still recording. Great. So in a situation where we have multiple VPCs, look at this now. All right, I have multiple VPCs and I want these VPCs resources in this VPC to be able to talk to each other. Now let me disintegrate this guy. All right, so I have about 5 VPCs. I have 5 VPCs and I want resources. All right, resources could be there are EC2 instances here, there are this, that, there are this there is this there, and there is this there. All right, so I want all of these guys to be able to communicate with each other. Now you know very well that on a norm, it is only resources that are in the same VPC. It is only resources that are in the same VPC that can communicate with each other. The moment we have resources in this VPC, let me call this VPC A. In VPC A, and you have resource in VPC B, they will not be able. These two guys might not be able to talk to each other. And the only way to make resources on here and here to talk to each other is by what? Pairing these two VPCs. By the way, there's another VPC feature called what? VPC pairing. Right. I'll explain how is VPC pairing different from what? A transit gateway. All right. So with the help of transit gateway, first we can what? Connect our entire VPCs to our what? To our on-premise network. Secondly, we can also what? Use transit gateway, just a single transit gateway, to allow intercommunication between what? These VPCs. However, we can use VPC pairing to make this possible. But in the context of VPC pairing, all right, we will be tempted to create more than one pairing connection. Now, let me give us an illustration between a transit gateway and us using um, VPC pairing. Now, I need to pair these VPCs. Look at now. What I need to do now is VPC A should be able to talk to VPC B, C, D, and E. All right, A, B, C, D, E. So this VPC A should be able, all right. So this VPC A should be able to talk to this guy, this guy, this guy, and this guy. The same thing applies to each of these VPCs. VPC D should be able to talk to this guy, this guy, this guy. Where are you? This guy, and this guy. You can see how my network connectivity is now becoming very complex. Now, for this to happen, there has to be a pairing connection between each of these VPCs. All right. Now, let me remove all of these. Let me show us something. All right. So what this implies is that, let me change the color of this pairing connection. Bam. All right. Now, for A to talk to B, there has to be a pairing connection here. Copy. For A to talk to E, there has to be a pairing connection here. All right. Now, for B to talk to C, there has to be a pairing connection here. Now, for it's coming very complex. Now, for C to talk to D, there has to be a pairing connection in between. Now, for E to talk to D, there has to be one here. Now, this is close neighbors. What about hubs that are not close to neighbor? What about connections that are not close to other endpoints? Now, C is not close to A. So it means that there has to be a pairing connection between C and A. There'll be another central connection between these two guys and these two guys for them to communicate. Now, there will be a whole lot of connectivities. So doing this kind of thing will make the entire system look very complex, right? The entire system will, let me move something down. The entire system will look unnecessarily what? Complex. One sec. All right, I have a space. I have my space. All right. So the entire system will look very complex. The whole of this, right? The whole of this is going to look what? Very what? Complex. Because there will be a lot of pairing connections here and there. To avoid you having too much of pairing connections, all right, we make use of what? A transit gateway. A transit gateway. So with the transit gateway, I can comfortably, without these guys, let me remove. Okay. So with the transit gateway, I can comfortably connect multiple VPCs. Just one transit gateway, and it's going to do the entire magic. So in contrast, a transit gateway could be used, the main purpose of a transit gateway, the main function, is used to what? Connect VPCs to on-premise network. That's one. Then on side, things you can still use transit gateway for is for align intercommunication between VPCs. So let's put it straight. So a transit gateway is a VPC feature, all right, that connects VPCs, right? VPCs, they're not one, it's not two, it's not three, it's not four, it could be 100, 500, all right, depending on how complex your network is. It's a visibility feature that connects VPCs to on-premise network, which you've seen in this illustration, right? Now, similarly, a transit gateway could be used, all right, could be used to interconnect VPCs, right? So interconnecting VPCs, meaning that you want resources in each of these VPCs to be able to talk to each other, meaning that you want resources in each of these VPCs to be able to what? Communicate with each other. All right. So that is what a transit gateway is all about. So quick one. Let's now look at the implementation. All right. Let's quickly look at the implementation of a transit gateway. How we can use transit gateway to interconnect VPCs and allow communication and allow resources in these VPCs to talk to each other. All right. So before we go into the actual implementation, let us walk us through, all right, the implementation flow. All right. Let us walk us through the implementation flow, how this thing is being implemented. Because if you don't understand how it's implemented, you might find it difficult to set up one, right? So I have tried as much as possible, all right, to make it enjoyable, all right, to make it very simple, very, very simple. Now, first thing first, I am assuming I have three VPCs, all right? I have VPC A, B, and C. Now, you know very well, each of these VPCs, they will have their corresponding stack. You have a subnet, you have a route table, and you have an internet gateway. Let me blow it out, all right? So you have VPC A, this is VPC A, B, and C, all right? VPC A, subnet A, route table A, and internet gateway A, right? So all of these is the VPC network. You can see here. So this is the VPC network. So this is thing you need to create first. Now, after creating your VPC, all right, now I'm assuming I have three VPCs, and I want it such that resources in each of these VPC should be able to communicate with each other. All right. Now, which is I'm assuming this resource EC2 instance. This instance A should be able to talk to what? Instance B. Instance B, sorry, this is B, should be able to what? Talk to what? Instance C, and vice versa. All right. All of these guys should be able to what? Intercommunicate between themselves with the help of what? Transit gateway. Now, mind you, I have a video I did on VPC peering, right? So if you've not watched that video on VPC peering, view channel, VPC peering, kindly rush and watch this my video on VPC what? Peering, right? To give you a heads up, right? All right, to give you what? A heads up. But in this context, we're not using a peering connection. Rather, we are using what? A transit gateway. All right, transit gateway. Okay. Now, after creating your VPC network, all right, the next thing you need to create now is your transit gateway. I'll jump to what? Transit gateway. Supposed to have labeled this guy. All right, let me quickly do small labeling. All right, so this will be okay. This should be 1. All right. So let me increase. Okay. So this will be what you will create first. 1. Then the next you create is year, which is 2. 2. Right. Then the third part you create is this, which is 3. 3. This should be, no, change the color. Okay. Give it black. 3. Yeah. So let's start with 1. So 1, you create your what? Your VPC network. After creating your VPC network, you move to 2. All right. You create your transit gateway. After creating your transit gateway, you now move to 3. You create your what? Transit gateway attachment. All right. Now, here is the flow. Now, every transit gateway attachment is attached to every transit gateway attachment references the transit gateway as well as what? The VPC in which you are creating that transit gateway attachment in. You're going to have a single transit gateway connection. All right. Now you now have multiple transit gateway what? Attachments. These attachments will be attached to their respective VPCs. Take note, guys. These attachments will be what? Attached to their respective VPC. Transit gateway attachment A is going to be attached to what? VPC A. Transit gateway attachment B will attach to what? VPC B. Transit gateway attachment C will be attached to what? VPC C, and so on and so forth. Great. There's one more layer, transit gateway routing table, which will be done automatically. All right. I'm not going to put it in this picture, but I will show us in the course of what implementing it. Great. Now, after you've created all of these, you now come down to create routing. All right. Now, on VPC A, there's a route table. On this route table, I'm going to create a route. All right. I'm going to create a route for VPC B and C. Guys, be very attentive. I'm going to create a route for VPC B and C, whose targets will be what? Transit gateway attachment A. I come again. On this route table A, on route table A, I'm going to create a route, all right, for the other VPCs, VPC B and VPC C, whose target is what? Transit gateway attachment A. Now, I'll come to what? VPC B. All I'm doing now, I'm creating routes so that each of this network will be able to what? See each other. Now, on route table B, I'm going to create a route whose target is what? Transit gateway attachment B. I'll create a route for VPC A and C. So meaning that, okay, whose target is what? Transit gateway B. Now, finally, on route table C, I'll create a target for A and B. I'll create a target for A and B, whose target is transit gateway attachment C. All right. I'll create a target for VPC A and B. So at this juncture, VPC C has information about A and B. You can see VPC C has information about what? VPC A and B. It has a route through what? Through the transit gateway attachment C. VPC B has a route, all right, has a route to A and C through what? Transit gateway attachment B. And VPC A has a route to B and C through transit gateway attachment A. If all of these is properly done, you now come to see that automatically resources in either of these VPCs will be able to talk to each other. All right, resources in these VPCs will now start exchanging requests. All right, now start exchanging what? Requests. All right, so without further ado, let's now get started in implementing all of this. So I'll start off with creating my what? VPC network. So let's start off with creating our what? VPC network. So I'll hop into my AWS account and I'll go to VPC. I'll go to VPC, VPCs, create VPC, and let me call this VPC A. Then the CIDR block, let me start with 11.0.0.0/16. All right, that's VPC A, create VPC. I'll go to VPC and I'll create VPC, another VPC. I'll call it VPC B. My CIDR is 12.0.0.0/16. All right, create VPC. Then the third VPC that we're going to create is VPC C. VPC what? C. My CIDR is 13.0.0.0/16 and create VPC. So now I have gotten what? These three VPCs. I need to go ahead to create what? The subnets, the respective subnets. I'll come over here, come to subnets, create subnets. Now, in which VPC am I creating the subnet? VPC A. So the subnet name is sub A. Can take any availability zone. Then the CIDR of the subnet will be 11.0.1.0/24, right? Keeping it simple. Make sure that this is your VPC CIDR. Click on create subnet. Then let me edit the subnet settings. Edit subnet settings. I need to assign auto assign public IP. All right. Great. Now let's go create subnets. In which other VPC? VPC B. Sub B. All right. Then the CIDR of that subnet is 12.0.1.0/24. Right. Create subnet. Then the last subnet will be in VPC C. Let's call it sub C. All right. Then 13.0.1.0/24. Create subnet. Now that we have created what? These three subnets, the next thing is to what? Create the route tables. Let's go there. So come to route table, right? Create route table. I'll say RTA. In which VPC? In VPC A, obviously. Create route table. Go to route table. Create route table. RTB. In which VPC? In VPC B. Create route table. Route table. Create route table. RTC. In which VPC? In this VPC C. Create route table. Now we have created these route tables. The next thing we need to create now is what? Internet gateways. So create respective internet gateway for internet services. All right. Right. Yeah. So internet gateway. Create internet gateway. I'll call it IGWA. Create internet gateway. All right. Now I'm going to attach this internet gateway to VPC A because I'm creating it in that that VPC. Now IGW, right? IGWB. Create, attach it towards VPC B. VPC B. Attach. Internet gateway. Create internet gateway. IGWC. Create, then attach towards VPC C. All right, great. Now we've created these three internet gateways. So we have fulfilled, all right, we have fulfilled what? The VPC network, all right? We have what? Fulfilled the VPC network. The next is stage 2, which is stage 2. So in stage 2, we will be creating what? A transit gateway. Let's go there. So I'll come back here. I'm going to look for transit gateway. Yes, transit gateway. All right. So click on what? Transit gateway. So let's give it a name. Click on create transit gateway. I didn't delete this last time. Delete this transit gateway. All right. So create a transit gateway. So let me call it demo transit gateway. Demo transit gateway, right? Description, you can just give it any description you like. Now, there's what we call ASN, autonomous system number. This autonomous system number, we don't have it, but it will be generated automatically. All right, so just leave this field blank, leave it blank. Now we have this transit gateway is going to have DNS support, going to have VPN, ECMP, default route table, and default route table propagation. All right. Now, what this option means is that what this option now, what's these two options, the default route table association and the default route table propagation means is that, all right, on the transit gateway route table, the moment I create this transit gateway, all right, it's going to automatically create for me a route table and it will associate my transit gateway attachments to the route table. Let me cancel this first. Cancel. Now let's go to router. Let me show something. Transit gateway route table. On the transit gateway route table, you can see it's empty, right? It's empty. But the moment I check those options while creating the transit gateway, it will automatically create for me a route table. All right, let's go back there. Transit gateway, create transit gateway, call it demo transit gateway. All right, paste. Now I'm going to check these two options, put it on default route table association and default route table what propagation. So the association of the transit gateway attachment should be done automatically. That's what this option means. All right. Now, all right, that's all guys. That's all you need to do. All right. Then click on what? Create transit gateway. Now, this transit gateway takes some time to be up. So let's wait for a while. All right. Let's wait for a while. Take some time. Right. So as you can see from our diagram, from our flow, I'm still at what? Step 2. I'm still what? At step 2 by creating what? The transit gateway. So let's look at it. It takes some time to be up. Like I earlier mentioned, do not fail to watch our video on what? VPC pairing. All right. VPC pairing. All right. VPC pairing. It's a nice watch. All right. Very nice watch. So take your time and go through this video, VPC pairing. All right. And guys, please, you can help us support. The only way you can support us is by making sure you share our channel, all right, with your network. Please share our channel. My channel has important topics in cloud computing and DevOps. All right. It's a channel that has important topics in cloud computing and DevOps. My channel is a liberation. It's a liberational channel. It has liberated a lot of senior DevOps engineers in this field. All right. So please do us the good. Share this channel. Share with your show love. Show your people love. The same love you're getting somewhere. Show them love, please. All right. Because we are doing something very, very great and important here. Right. Great. So you can see the transit gateway is now available. The next thing I need to do now, I'll go to what? Stage 3. Stage 3, which is what? Creating the transit gateway attachment. All right. So let's go there quickly. So come to my transit gateway. Transit gateway attachments. So in here, I'll create what? Different what? Attachments. So I'll create attachments. The first attachment will be transit gateway attachment A. All right. Now I'm going to attach this guy to the transit gateway ID. The transit gateway ID is what? Demo transit gateway. Then the attachment type, you can see there are different attachment types. There is VPC, there is VPN, there is pairing connection, there is connect. So, but in this context, the attachment type is what? VPC. All right, VPC. That's all. That's all. Then now the VPC ID, I'm attaching this transit gateway attachment A towards VPC A. VPC A. As you can see in our design, all right, this guy will be attached towards this guy. All right, that's it. So, right, that's all, guys. Create attachments. Now, while this attachment is coming up, let's go and create B and C. All right. So, transit gateway attachment B, ID, VPC, attach it towards B, VPC B. All right. Then what? Create. Let me copy this guy. So I don't need to. Okay, copy. Create. Then last but not the least, all right. Attachment C, attach it to transit gateway. All right. Then the VPC ID is VPC what? C. All right. Then create transit gateway attachments. So now we have what? 3 transit gateway attachments. All right. So they are still pending. You can see from our diagram, we've created what? Stage 3. All right. Stage 3. Stage 3. So let me refresh. It's still pending. Now, why is still pending? If you go to transit gateway route table, you can see now automatically a route table has been created. Now, let's look at association. If those guys, you can see now, one of the transit gateway attachments has been associated. All right. Let's look at propagation. Same one has been propagated. Let's look at which attachment is this. This should be A. This should be A. All right. The next one has come. Let's check. All right. So similarly, if we go back to our attachments, come back to our attachment, you see that it's changing from pending. The state is changing from pending to what? Available. Right. Let's give it some time. Let's wait. All right. Let's just wait. So guys, please show your people love. All right. Show them love the same way I'm showing you love. Share my channel. Share my channel. Frank Teaches DevOps. Share my channel with your loved ones and even to your enemies. Please share. Now they're all available, right? So go to what? Transit Gateway Routable. You see that automatically these routes, there are 3 associations as well as 3 propagation. So we are done with stage 3. Now the next stage is now to create our what? Our routing, our proper routing, right? Because if you don't do this part, there is no way that resources in VPC A will be able to talk towards either of the resources in other VPCs. All right. So let me start with what? Routable A. So what I will do, I'll quickly go on to routable A. This is routable. I'll go to routable A. All right. Select it. Then click on route. Then click on what? Edit route. So I'll add a route. I'm going to add a route for, I'm on A. I'll add for B and C. So my VPC CIDR for routable B is 12. VPC CIDR for routable C is what? 13. Now, what is the target? The target is towards a transit gateway. Now, transit gateway what? A. Can see now, I'm routing traffic from B through what? A. B through A. C through A. Then my target here also is via what? Via A. That's all. Click on save. Now this is a routable, all right? And this is what? Transit gateway attachment A. You can see from our diagram, all right? I've created VPC B and C through what? A. I'll do similar thing on what? Routable B. Let's go to routable B. So routable B, go back to the route. Routable B, all right? Routable B. Routes, edit routes, add. This will be A and C. A 16 and C is 13. All right. So target transit gateway. That's transit gateway. That's save. Great. Right. Then the third one, C, routes, edit routes, add, to be A and B. B is 12. Right? Transit gateway, that's, and transit gateway, that's. All right. Save. Now we missed out on something. All right. From our design, we're supposed to associate our subnets with our routable and associate our internet gateway to our routable. So let's go and do that quickly. We didn't do that. Let's do it. So let me go to route. This is routable C. I was starting with routable C. All right. Go to route, edit route. So I'm going to add my what? Internet gateway. All right. Internet gateway. Internet gateway. Internet gateway C. This is unroutable C. Save changes. So what I'm doing, I'm giving what? Internet access, right? Right? But we don't need an internet access for these guys to communicate with each other, right? So we need to communicate on their private IP addresses, on their private IP addresses. Routable B, go to routes, edit routes, add a route, then internet gateway, that, and save. Then, okay, we also need to do subnets. I'll come back. Let me do that once. Subnet association. So I'll associate sub B to routable B is done. Then finally come to routable A, edit routes, add routes, all zeros to internet gateway, and internet gateway, save changes. Come to subnet settings, edit, add this, save. Yeah. Then go to routable C. We didn't associate the subnets. Subnets, edit, add C, save changes. Yeah, guys, we are good. We are good. So far, so good, guys. We have fulfilled everything. We have what? Fulfilled 1, 2, and 3. Now, let's now go ahead to create these resources in the respective VPCs, all right, and test out communication. Now, go to my AWS and let me duplicate this page, duplicate this tab, sorry. I'll go to EC2, go on EC2, and go to instances. Let's launch instance. So I'll launch EC2A, all right? EC2A, this guy would be in key pair. Can just give it any key pair. Key pair. This guy will be in VPCA. VPCA, all right? Subnet. I'll create a security group. Security group, I'll call it SGA. All right? SGA. I think we are good. We are good. Launch. All right. Now, launch another instance. I'll call it EC2B. Key pair. Network settings. VPCB. Security group SGB. Launch. Then the last but not the least is EC2C. EC2C. All right. VPCC. VPCC. All right. Oh, I didn't enable subnet settings. Yeah. I didn't enable subnet settings. Security group SGC. All right. Launch. Great. Now we have these three instances, A, B, and C. So let's go on A. All right. Right click here. Connect in the new tab. All right. Good. So let me go to what? Instance connect. Let me connect on the browser. Now, I am on EC2A. As you can see here, this is EC2A, right? So from EC2A, I want to talk to, from EC2A, I want to talk to what? EC2B via the private IP address. So let's go to EC2B. EC2B, and here is the private IP in a different VPC. Copy the private IP, go over here and type ping. So by default, from the behavior of cloud, right, you cannot actually ping a private IP. You can't ping a private IP. So by default, AWS disable pinging private IP addresses. So we need to go to the security group to enable access for ICMP, right? ICMP is a protocol that ping users, all right? So you can see now it's not pinging. I'm trying to ping from A to B. There's no communication. So let's go to security group A and B to enable ICMP. All right. So I'll go to all right. So I'll go to security group. Then I'll search for SGA. This is SGA. All right. This is SGA, security group A. I go to inbound rule and edit inbound rules. So I'll add a rule. I'll add a rule for what? ICMP. All right. ICMP. Great. Then anywhere, save. Let's save that. So let's check our pinging. Our ping is not going yet, all right, because I'm trying to talk to B, right? So I'll go to B and do similar thing. SGB, this is SGB, all right? SGB. I'm going to edit inbound rule, add a rule, all right? ICMP, anywhere. The moment I click on save and check my connection, you can see I'm now able to talk towards B from A. So from this instance, I'm able to talk towards B, which is on a different VPC entirely. It's on a different VPC entirely. So let's go to B and see if we can talk to A and C and vice versa. So I'm still on A. Let me talk towards C. Let's see if that's doable. All right. Control C. So let's go and pick the private IP address of C. Here is C. All right. Private IP address C is this. Come over here. Let me do a ping to C. Now C is not going through because on C I've not enabled ICMP. So let's go to security group of C. This SGC. All right. Edit inbound rule. And add the rule. ICMP. Anywhere, save the rule. The moment I do this, you can see that I'm able to ping from what? A to C. So from our diagram, you can see I can talk to B and C from A. So let's move this. Perfect. You can see I can talk to what? B and C via the private IP address, right? Similarly, I can do the same thing back and forth. If I go to this is A. So let me close this. If I open C, from C, I can talk to B and A. So from C, connect. All right, great. Now let me ping what? Let me ping B. Let me ping A. Copy the private IP of A. All right, come over here. Let's say ping, paste. You can see from C, I'm talking to A. All right, I'll cut it. Then still from C, let's see if we can talk to B. Copy. So from C, let's ping. So you can see from C, I can equally talk towards B. So far, so good, guys. You can see we have been able to implement Transit Gateway by allowing resources in each of these VPCs to talk to each other back and forth. With that being said, guys, I want to bring this session to a close, right? So we've finally implemented Transit Gateway, right? We've implemented Transit Gateway. So guys, like I earlier said, please, you need to show us some love. Share our channel with your within your network. Share our channel within your network. Thank you, guys. Thank you, and see you in our next episode. Thank you, and have a lovely week ahead. Thank you. Peace out.